start with something I talked about in episode 1, which is a documentary, a little docu-series that I watched recently, which was Don't Fuck with Cats. I'm not going to talk a lot about it, just kind of going to say, if you haven't watched it yet, please watch it. It kind of just goes into the mind of a sociopath and what people will do for vanity and notoriety. Is a story about a guy that thought he was a model, tried to do everything to get fame, couldn't do it, and went to the most extreme thing I've ever seen in my life just to get famous. And kind of on the second side of that, I watched another documentary recently, which was the Aaron Hernandez documentary. And again, it's sociopathic. It's kind of somebody that can disconnect themselves from their own reality. So it's a guy that had everything in the world. And for me, I forgot how prolific of a player he actually was, and how much he actually changed the game for the Patriots. He was, he was amazing. And just to throw it all away, just to have, that, what am I looking for? The reputation of a gangster. And he was really about that life, for sure. You can't say he wasn't. But in the situation that you're in, and then with all the gifts that you've been given, to be able to do things like that just to screw it up, just so you can't be played with. There's a lot going into it when you talk about, his upbringing and, spoiler alert, his sexuality and things like that coming into play. There's a lot of different things in the mind, obviously, of a killer. I think that's part of the documentary's title. But what they really don't talk about a lot, and I think is a huge, huge thing, is the CTE. It's towards the end, and it's a big problem. I went straight from watching that documentary into rewatching the movie Concussion, which is a book that I've read twice. And when you really stop and look at it, it kind of, and if you haven't seen that movie, watch that movie. And it really kind of puts in perspective what these people are doing to their bodies from an early age. I played football growing up. I might have had, 1, 2 concussions. I would say 3, because one time I got hit in the head with a bunch of boulders. We were trying to make a cave.
Sure.
Out of this big rock pile, and I got stuck in the middle of it, and somebody kicked out like the only weight-bearing rock we had, and I was directly in the middle. But football, sports-related, I would say I probably only had 2. But you've got to think with the people that are growing up, and each level you get to, from Little League or from Pee Wee into high school, into college, into the pros, they're getting hit harder and harder. And it brings up another person that I think is suffering from CTE right now, which is Antonio Brown. And the reason I say that, he's one of the fastest guys that's played the game. And when you think about the speed positions, and the movie Concussion kind of breaks this down really, really well. But those speed positions, you're coming at each other so quick and so hard. And basically, you're going just head-to-head contact. It's a car crash every time it happens. And we're going to put an example up of just one of the hits in the pros that Antonio Brown took that obviously concussed him. You can see it. It'll be right here. And just take a look at this.
The pocket, middle of the field, incomplete. Personal foul, a flag does come in. Went to the head, Lewis Harris.
So, yeah, there's different angles, and it's going to keep going. But that's one of those hits that could instantly just magnify everything going wrong. And he's showing all the symptoms. I mean, he's in jail right now as we speak. You dumb bitch, he's rich. He posted bail. And he turned himself in on a battery case, but he's just gone so far off the deep end that there has to be an explanation. I mean, he wasn't this guy coming out of college. He wasn't this guy in college, from what I know. And to be somebody that, was the face of a franchise, that was the best receiver in the world still could come back and be that. But to have all the mental things and all of the breakdowns and psychological issues that he's had, and to be, and yeah, I made fun of, the gummy penises and all that, but on a real note, looking into it more as I have this week, you kind of see that there's something different, and there's something that's going worse and worse and worse over the course of a period of time. And like I said, if you haven't seen those things, just watch them. The Aaron Hernandez documentary is a really good one to start. I'm not going to spoil everything. But right after that, it was really informative for me to then watch the movie Concussion. You can rent it on YouTube. I don't know how much it was at the how
It was like $3.99 or something to rent it on YouTube.
Yeah, so it's $4 to rent it. If you have a Netflix account, the Aaron Hernandez documentary is free. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about all of that stuff. The Don't Fuck with Cats, that's one of those you just have to watch to see, the amount of insanity. And the people, good for the people that found him. The Facebook group that was involved with this, and they were immaculate. They were walking down streets just on Google Maps, just clicking and going, clicking and going, clicking and going, literally hours a day to figure out just a location. And they ended up, being a huge part of it to help find it. And he was based around, and he was basing this whole thing on movies because he wanted to be a celebrity. He wanted to be a star. And it's insane. It's really crazy.